Part 4, Full Court Press Basketball Debate, the December 29th edition. Chris Guyette here with Yvonne Juneau. Kevin Durant has been out for 7-8 games with a sprained ankle. And when asked about Kevin Durant's absence, Russell Westbrook says the lack of passing is, quote, not a problem. Yvonne Juneau, you agree or you disagree with that, and why?
I don't even understand what he meant by that. What did Westbrook really mean by that?
It's pretty obvious. The lack of passing. Okay, because without Durant on the floor, Westbrook's your leading scorer, but Westbrook's also your point guard.
Right.
So Westbrook's going to handle the ball, and he's going to score. So there's obviously not going to be a lot of passes being made.
Oh, moving the ball around. Okay.
So do you agree or disagree with this, and why?
Well, the fact that they can win without Durant, both. The fact that they can win without Durant being on the floor, I would say, I agree. It's not a problem. They can win without Durant. But in my gut, no, I disagree. Because without Durant on the floor, if Westbrook gets cornered or he gets in a jam, there's nobody to pass the ball to that he knows can get it back to him so that he can make the play that he needs to make. So logistically speaking and realistically speaking, you've got to have Durant on the floor for a multitude of reasons. And passing is definitely one of them. So I would say no, I do not agree with what Russell Westbrook said. And I think it was a rather arrogant statement to make. But in true Russell Westbrook fashion, it does not surprise me that he says something like this. Let's be perfectly honest.
Let's qualify ourselves. If we are talking about short term, if we are talking about the fact that Kevin Durant is supposed to return this week, then no, the lack of passing is not a problem. It's not. Come playoff time,
oh, it's going to be a big problem.
Come divisional play, this is not a problem. This is a huge problem.
Right.
Because teams that don't pass the ball in the playoffs don't move on in the playoffs. Look at the San Antonio Spurs. What has won them rings? Ball movement.
Yeah.
Togetherness.
Fastball movement.
Okay. Even
being able to read each other's minds.
Even the Miami Heat teams with LeBron, they moved the ball. Different players were stepping up. Different players were scoring. This is the problem with Oklahoma City. You've got two guys that can score the ball at will.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. You take one of those people out, you're stuck.
You're sunk. You're sunk.
Right.
So, I completely disagree with this.
I agree.
If we're talking long term. Right. If we're talking this week, that's not going to be a problem. Right. Westbrook can carry a team in the regular season. In the playoffs...
Do you agree with me that this was an arrogant comment for him to make?
To a certain extent, yes. But...
Does it surprise you?
No.
No.
But there is some truth to this statement. Because against San Antonio on Christmas Day,
right,
the lack of passing wasn't a problem.
Right.
And again, if we're talking short term, he's telling the truth. It was arrogant, but it's the truth. Playoffs... Long term,
big
7-game series, big picture. Yeah, it's a problem.
Oh,
it's a huge problem. I disagree.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce, quote, the Wizards need to, quote, build better habits. Obviously, this is very blasé. This is very middle of the road. So, Yvonne, I'm asking you what you think the truth meant by this statement.
To be more consistent. I think that's what he meant. Because when they play consistently and when they look at each other and when they communicate on the court and when they... I mean, let's be honest. Look what Washington's been doing. But do they do it for every game? No. So I think being Paul Pierce, coming from a team where they could read each other's minds I think that's what he meant. I don't think he meant anything negatively in a derogatory fashion. I think he meant that they need to work harder together to be a better team and know what the other person is going to do before it even becomes a thought in their mind. Because that's how he's used to playing.
Interesting. The way I see this is...
You don't agree?
No, I agree with your inference, but that's not what I believe he meant.
Okay.
I totally agree with your inference. It's totally true. I'm with you 150%. What I think he meant was that in the future of this team is the playoffs. He sees it. He sees it.
Okay.
What he means by build better habits, in order to be a good playoff team, you have to have certain habits. He wants this team to be playoff ready way before the playoffs.
But that's where the consistency comes in. That's why I said that.
But I'm not just talking about in-game. I'm talking about off the floor, taking care of yourself.
Okay.
In the locker room,
Okay.
being level-headed, mindset, eyes on the prize.
Right.
Because this team, right now, I'm going to give them a 90 to 95% chance of making the playoffs unless John Wall goes down with an injury, God forbid.
Or Paul Pierce gets hurt.
God forbid they have an injury.
Right.
Okay? Because Bradley Beal has returned.
Right.
And he is a monster right now.
Right.
Okay? John Wall is putting up MVP caliber numbers.
Right.
And this kind of takes care of question B, or
Right.
your thoughts on Washington this year. They're fantastic.
Absolutely.
They're fantastic. They were missing
Absolutely.
one piece. It was a veteran. It was the savviness. It was the IQ. Guess what? Paul Pierce.
Right.
Solves it all.
Right.
What he means is he wants this team to be playoff ready now.
Right.
Not 3 games before the playoffs start. Not in game 1 of the first round.
Start
now.
Right. Work
We
on
build
it now
habits
and stay
And
consistent.
consistency is one of those habits.
That's what I'm talking about.
Our inferences go right together.
Right.
Because consistency, you can't coach consistency.
No.
Consistency is a habit.
Right. Right.
You can't teach consistency. You have to make consistency happen.
Absolutely.
You build better habits. It prepares you for the future.
Right.
It prepares you for when you face those tough teams.
They
in the
have to be
playoffs.
mind melding. They have to be able to read each other's minds when they're out there on that court and know what the other person's going to do before it even happens.
Be playoff ready now, not when
Which
the playoffs
is what he
start.
had in Boston, and he knows it's possible. He knows it's possible. But he does, and I think he's in the process of trying to teach them this, but it's going to take some work.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Kevin Durant's response to Russell Westbrook's quote. Let Westbrook, quote, play his game. Yvonne Juno, your thoughts?
I think this is Kevin Durant being Kevin Durant. I don't even know if the guy has a mean bone in his body. I don't think you could say anything about or to Kevin Durant that would that he would not twist and put a positive note on it. I think the guy is too nice. I think the guy is too easygoing. And I think the guy is... he's just an all-around nice guy. And I love him for it. But he needs to get tougher, meaner, and he needs to... it's hard to say that I want him to be meaner. Okay? And maybe mean is not even the right adjective.
More aggressive.
Aggressive. Determined.
Hungry.
I don't want him to have a chip on his shoulder.
Ferocious.
I don't want him to have a chip on his shoulder like some of them do.
But play like
okay?
you have a chip on your shoulder.
Okay? But I want him to fight for what he knows he can do and fight for it. Because he's a hell of a player.
He's the MVP.
Okay? But he's such a nice guy. Only Kevin Durant would take something like what Russell Westbrook said, lack of passing is not a problem, and not find anything derogatory about that. Can you imagine
So you're saying this is a nice quote.
Of course it's a nice quote.
I disagree. Because you have to look at the hidden message in here. A teammate, because this was obviously addressed in a press conference, is where this
Okay.
came from. So this is not addressing the coach. This is not addressing the team. This is not even addressing Russell Westbrook. This is addressing the world, the media. And teammates don't call each other Westbrook. Teammates don't call each other Durant. Kevin Durant calls Westbrook Russ. In press conferences, in interviews, that's his brother. That's Russ. The fact that Kevin Durant said, let Westbrook play his game, not let Russ play his game. That says a lot to me. Because every interview I've ever seen with Kevin Durant, Russ comes up. Oh, Russ is awesome. Russ is my brother. Russ is the motor that runs this engine. He addressed Westbrook as Westbrook. That tells me that he's telling the media to stop criticizing. Let him play his game.
Which means he's a nice guy. You just proved my point.
But I'm proving that there's the aggressiveness. In that quote, you hear aggressiveness. Let Westbrook play his game. What if, I'm agreeing with you. What if Durant, because do you find that now that I'm saying this, you see what I'm saying? Let Westbrook play his game, not let Russ play his game. That's a more aggressively said quote by Durant because he doesn't refer to Russell Westbrook as Westbrook. He refers to him as Russ. We've seen it. We've seen it. And Russell Westbrook...
Okay, so in the context of addressing the media, he was more aggressive. Okay?
What if he brought that on the floor? I'm agreeing with you.
That would be wonderful.
Well, this is I agree with your positive. Your thing about making this a positive, I agree with it. But it's not nice. It's more aggressive. It's more to the point. Maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, but I've never seen Kevin Durant refer to that man as Westbrook. In any interview, in any press conference, ever. It's always been Russ, because that's his best friend. And when addressing the media, because we know how much Westbrook gets, and I hate it, because Westbrook is a downright bomb scorer. Okay? Oh, Westbrook doesn't pass the ball enough. The man averages 8.5 assists a game. Stop that. And averages 25 points. The man does his job. And he gets criticized for it, which I don't like.
And the main reason he gets criticized, I think, is not because of his lack of passing the ball or sharing the ball, but that mouth. He says things he should not say. Or he says them in a way that they can be misconstrued.
But we want Kevin Durant to have that.
Exactly. But he's such a nice
So
guy.
why criticize Westbrook for it? If we want that out of Durant, why are we criticizing Westbrook for doing it?
I guess you're right.
This was a more aggressive quote by Kevin Durant. Stop criticizing. Stop telling Westbrook what to do.
Kevin Durant hates the media.
Yeah, he hates the media.
More so than a lot of the
Yeah,
players do.
he does.
Yeah.
That's what I read from this quote. The fact that he didn't address Westbrook as Russ, that popped out to me immediately. Because it's Kevin Durant saying it. If it was Scott Brooks saying it, if it was a member of the front office saying it, okay, whatever. That's Kevin Durant's brother. Basically. Okay?
Hypothetical situation, Chris. If the roles were reversed and Kevin Durant had said, because Westbrook was out of a game, oh, don't worry about it. The lack of passing or Russell being on the floor, that's not a big deal. It's not a problem. What do you think Westbrook would have had to say about
I think
that?
Westbrook, to the media, would have said he's right. Because he's the MVP. He's a scoring He's a 4-time scoring champion. Let Kev play his game. In the locker room, that's different.
Right.
That's different.
Right.
Because Westbrook is that type of personality.
Exactly. He would not have taken it as graciously as Kevin Durant did.
Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, on tanking, quote, "No team is trying to lose." Yvonne Juno, do you agree or disagree? And
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, because the whole concept of tanking to me is stupid. Because why would you want to lose a game?
Well,
I have never understood the advantages.
The whole concept, I've explained it to you.
I know, but it still doesn't make sense to me.
It's for draft pick purposes, but I explained 3 debates ago that the odds of winning the lottery, 4 out of 5 years, the worst team hasn't even won the draft lottery.
I agree.
So it doesn't even work.
Right. Right. Right.
You got a 50-50 shot. It doesn't even work.
Right. Right. So, do you agree or disagree?
Right now, I agree that no team is trying to lose. You asked me this question about a month ago, and I totally disagree. But
Why? What's changed?
Because I truly believe that a month ago, Philadelphia was trying to lose. Because
you don't think it was just their lack of ability to win?
Oh my God! They took their starters out in the 3rd quarter. What does that show? But now that they've won a few games, they're going to play. Right now, I agree. No team is trying to lose. Minnesota, you can't say anything about Minnesota because Rubio's out for the year. They've had a multitude. Kevin Martin, no time frame on his comeback.
Right.
You can't say anything about Minnesota. You can't say anything about the Lakers because we know they're not trying to lose with Kobe Bryant.
Gosh.
I mean, just look at the worst teams. Philadelphia, they've won some games that, my God, they shouldn't have won.
Right.
According to us.
Right.
I mean, they beat Miami last week in Miami by 18.
Yeah.
No team is trying to lose.
That was not a fluke.
No team is trying to lose right now. I agree. Right now, at this very particular moment and time,
Their problem?
at this particular moment in time, yeah, I agree. No team is trying to lose.
Maddie?
No, Tyler.
Gidry? Problem?
No.
Dead air.
I know.
Does he have a problem?
No, it's about work. No, I mean, again, asked me a month ago, I disagree. Right now, I think it's safe to say that no team is trying to lose. Because you can't really make excuses for a team with all kinds of injuries. Lakers, Minnesota, I mean, come on. Without Kobe, you're probably going to lose.
Please.
Come on. Dirk Nowitzki passes Elvin Hayes and moves into 8th on the all-time scoring list in NBA history. Yvonne Juno, your thoughts?
Congratulations. He deserves it.
Yeah, he does.
He deserves it. He's been around long enough. He's fought for it. He deserves it. And congratulations to him.
I mean, look. What can you say about Dirk Nowitzki? I mean, this guy is just... Is there a more... Is there a weirder player in the NBA ever than Dirk Nowitzki? His shooting form, some of the shots he makes. This guy...
I do have an adjective that I think applies to him very greatly. Dedicated.
Oh God,
He is so dedicated.
This guy is just.
And it doesn't make any difference if they're playing Philadelphia or they're playing San Antonio. He goes out there to win every game.
This guy.
Every game to him is important, and you can see it on his face.
This guy is incredible. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This guy has been doing this his entire career.
Yep.
It's impossible to stop this guy. Congratulations, Dirk.
I agree.
mean, you deserve
He's
nothing.
earned it.
And look, I don't like Dallas. I never have liked Dallas, but there's a respect factor there
Yeah.
when it comes to Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki is the Dallas Mavericks. He's the greatest Dallas Maverick to ever wear the uniform. Without a shadow of a doubt. First ballot Hall of Famer. Probably one of, if not the greatest international player to ever play the game of basketball.
I think he's going to play until he can't play anymore.
This guy's awesome. This guy has
I
been
don't look for this
awesome.
guy to be going, how old is Dirk?
He's late 30s, 37, 38.
Yeah.
But
In
this guy
basketball
is
terms,
just-
that's old.
But he just signed a brand new 3-year deal.
Yeah.
So this guy's gonna.
Yeah.
This guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. What can you say? What more can you
And
say?
I don't even know if I didn't even know this next question was on here. And I'm not sure I even want to discuss this.
Michael Wilbon. Very, very good NBA analyst. Works for ESPN. Very respected. I love Michael Wilbon.
What a thing to say.
Quote, Kobe Bryant is battling Father Time. Yvonne Juno, your thoughts?
My heart is broken. How dare you say something like that? Even if it's true, what in the world would make you vocalize that about Kobe
He
Bryant?
didn't vocalize it.
What do you mean? He said it.
He wrote an article.
Oh, that's even worse. It's in print. Oh, wonderful. It's in print. So Kobe can read it over and over and over. I don't know who this analyst is, but as far as I'm concerned, respect or not respect, no matter how long he's been doing it, that was wrong. That was shoddy, and I am deeply hurt for Kobe. Even if it's true, it should not have been said.
How many times do you think Kobe Bryant has heard the fact that you're too old, that you don't have it anymore?
That doesn't make it any less offensive every
I'm
time
not
he hears
saying
it.
it is. But do you think he really, truly, honestly cares? He just passed Michael
He might
Jordan.
not act like he cares.
doesn't care. If Kobe Bryant cared what people thought about him,
Oh, it would have happened a long time ago. with
give
the
me a
affairs.
break.
Yeah, I know.
And you think that's changed now that he's a few years older? He's still the same Kobe Bryant. But I gotta tell you, it's 100% true.
And there may be a large degree of truth to this, but I still don't like to hear it said.
Nobody likes to hear it said. Nobody does. He probably didn't like writing it. He was probably asked to write an article on Kobe Bryant. But there's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Because it's the truth.
Do you see Kobe playing? How long's Kobe's contract for?
This year and next year.
You see him retiring after that?
Yes.
Do you?
After next year, yes. That I don't want to talk about.
Okay. Chris, let me take it one step further. Why do you think he'll retire?
Because he's done.
No. You think Father Time is what's going to make him retire? I don't.
What's going to make him
Do
retire?
you think if he was on a winning team right now, he would even entertain the thought of retiring?
Yes, because he wants to go out on a good note.
Then he's going to leave with a losing team?
Yes. But he's going to do it as a Laker. He's going to do it, win or lose, as a Laker.
Oh, I don't see him going anywhere else. No.
He's going to do it as a Laker. Be honest with yourself. Do you think that Kobe thinks for 1 second that there is a great chance of him winning another title within the next 2 years?
No, not with this team.
He's not stupid.
Nope.
He's not stupid.
No.
He's not looking for another ring. He wants it, but he's not stupid.
Right.
As long as he can do
All you
it,
have to do is watch him in a game. The level of frustration on his face speaks
as
volumes.
long as he
is
can do
so
it,
aggravated and frustrated right now.
as long as he can do it as a Laker, good or bad, he's going to do it. Because it won't be Kobe leaving on a bad note. The Lakers will have a bad season. But it won't be Kobe leaving on a bad note.
One reflects on the other.
No, it does not.
You told me that yourself.
No. Kobe Bryant just passed Michael Jordan for third all-time scorer.
I know that.
That has absolutely nothing to do with him being a Laker. That is a personal
That's an
accomplishment.
individual accomplishment. I agree. I agree.
As long as he can do it as a Laker, win or lose, he's going to do it.
Well, isn't that one of the main things that surprised the hell out of us when Paul Pierce left Boston?
Yes. But Paul Pierce wants another ring.
And you don't see Kobe wanting another ring.
He wants it. But
He's not willing
he's
to make the
more
change.
about dedication.
Okay.
He's more about loyalty.
I never dreamed Paul Pierce would leave Boston. Did you?
No, but the more I thought about it, as good as Paul Pierce is, he got 1 ring. 1.
I know.
Kobe's got 5.
But Paul only has 1 because he was so dedicated to stay where he was.
And in the end, it paid off for him.
Right.
Just like it did for Kobe.
Right.
But right now in his career, loyalty is more important. Because this is... To Kobe, the Lakers did this for him. He didn't
So
do
in
this
other
for the
words,
Lakers.
he's biding his time till his contract runs out.
Right. Next year will be his last year.
You see any big changes coming around the pipe for next year?
Oh, the Lakers are going to sign somebody. The Lakers are going to do all they can this offseason to give Kobe the best team they can because they want him to get that 6th ring. Oh, yeah. They got the coach to do it. They got the front office to do it. Byron Scott is doing a hell of a job. I don't care what anybody says. Byron Scott, with what he's dealing with right now,
Oh, well, he's working with the
is
hand
doing
he was
a
dealt.
fantastic job.
He's working with the hand that he was
And
dealt. But the level of frustration out on that floor is written all
year-
over Kobe's face.
and Byron Scott's.
Yes.
This coming
Absolutely.
free agency, there are a lot of good free agents out there, and the Lakers, let's face it, they're the biggest market in the NBA.
They got the money to
They
spare.
do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, let's think about a couple of the free agents, the couple of the
People who will be coming around.
let's see. Technically, if he wanted to, Dwayne Wade could opt out after this year. The Lakers have enough
don't
money.
see that.
He's not going to. I'm doing very hypothetical.
I see Dwayne Wade staying
He's retiring
with
in Miami.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, if the Lakers
If
wanted
he wanted to.
they could go get Wade. That's how much money they have. They're going to do something. They will. They're going to make multiple moves. It's going to be a whole new Lakers team next year. I promise. This year is a rebuilding year, and Kobe realizes that. But at the end of the day, Michael Wilbon is correct. Kobe is battling Father Time.
Okay.
Just like Tim Duncan is battling Father Time. Just like Kevin Garnett is battling Father Time. And it's sad because that's a whole era leaving. But
I still don't think it needed to be put in print.
hey. We've mentioned this game in passing, if you turn the page. We've mentioned this game in passing a little bit. Chicago bests Toronto in the Battle of the East Beasts. This was last week.
Final score?
I'll have to find it. It's
Hang on.
somewhere. Toronto and Chicago, 129 to 120. It was last Monday
Yeah.
on the 22nd. 129 to 120. No
Yeah.
overtime, no nothing.
Yeah.
Yvonne Juno, does this game prove anything to you? Why or why not?
Well, yeah. It proves that if Chicago is healthy, if all the team players show up, that they're a force to be reckoned with. Of course it does. Toronto is, I've said this from the beginning of the season. Yes, they're a very, very strong and good team. Okay? But number one, the schedule wasn't that difficult for them in the beginning. Number two, the other good teams that they went up against had frailties. They either had people out, or their star players were injured, or there was sickness, or there was
It
something.
was just an easy schedule.
Okay? Or they had obstacles in their way that allowed Toronto to beat them. Okay? Now that they're up against a Chicago team that is 100%, which let's keep our fingers crossed that continues, this was a true test of exactly what Chicago can do against Toronto that's been ranked number one for so long, whether it be right or whether it be wrong. They were ranked at number one. I think there was a lot of key factors about them being at the top of that list, a lot of which they had no control over, and it was in their best interest. But Derrick Rose being out and all these obstacles in the way, if they meet a good team like this, who's 100%, this is a perfect indicator right here of what this proves to me. That Toronto is not everything that everybody has been saying all season long that they're cracked up to be.
Does this prove anything to me? It proves that, well, Chicago's the best team in the East. Their record doesn't show it, but records are numbers. And yes, those numbers do mean a lot.
Yeah, but those
But you know
numbers
what?
can change
But
every
you
day.
know what? It's early.
Yeah,
It's early.
yeah.
Chicago is healthy. Chicago is on a 9-game winning
They
streak.
got to stay healthy.
This proves to me that Chicago can beat any team they want. Any team they want.
With everybody on the floor.
Which team poses the bigger threat going forward, and why?
Chicago. I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the season. You know I would not have said that. You know I would not have said that. But between what Butler's doing and Derrick Rose healthy on the floor, okay, and Noah, I mean, come on.
Pau Gasol.
Absolutely.
Chicago definitely poses the bigger threat. It's very simple. Chicago poses the bigger threat, but let's not forget that Toronto is missing. I want to give Toronto big time credit
Yeah.
because they're missing DeMar DeRozan right now.
Look what they've accomplished.
They have
without
not had DeRozan
I know
in a
that.
month and a half,
I know that.
and they are still
I
atop the East.
Oh, I agree. I'm giving them kudos
So,
for what they've done
Don't
without
think
him.
Toronto is just this black horse team.
I agree.
That-
I agree. We agree. We agree. But it's a hell of a statement for me to make to say that I think Chicago is in the lead right now.
You ready? New Orleans sends the Spurs to their 6th loss in 7 games.
And we were there.
We were there.
And it was awesome.
So what about it was awesome, Yvonne? What won this game for New Orleans?
Well, honestly, the way we played as a unified team. But let's be perfectly honest here. Let's be perfectly honest. Okay? Tony Parker sitting on the sidelines didn't hurt us at all.
Well, it helped.
Right. Right. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. If the Spurs had been 100%.
Oh, and Kawhi Leonard.
Right. If the Spurs had been 100% with Parker and Leonard out on that floor, I don't know. I'm being honest, brutally honest here. I'm not sure if the result had been the same. But for that particular night when we were sitting in those chairs, I was happy to see them sitting on the sidelines.
No, I was too. I was too.
And it was an awesome game. Now, we're also still playing without Eric Gordon. And it kills my soul to say this. I'm not sure it was that big a detriment not to have. Don't shake your head at me. I know.
Because as far as I'm concerned, Tyreek Evans is a man.
I know. I just love Eric Gordon.
I love Eric Gordon too. I love everything about Eric Gordon.
But we didn't miss him. We didn't miss him at all.
Not in this game. There are a couple games where we've missed him.
Yeah, but not in this game.
What won this game for New Orleans? I will tell you exactly what won this game for New Orleans. There was a point in the second quarter. I'll take you back to the second quarter. We were down at the end of the first. Remember that?
Yeah.
26-20, if I'm correct. Okay? About 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. You know how you're famous for saying your last 3 minutes?
Oh, the last 3 minutes.
Tim Duncan had the ball under the goal.
Yep.
And a guy named Anthony Davis, I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, right. He got fired up and pissed off.
He forced a jump.
Yeah.
For those of you who did not see this,
Oh, God.
he forced a jump ball out of Tim Duncan. Now, let me explain the significance of this. Tim Duncan is 93 years old.
Ah!
The past and present of the NBA, Tim Duncan.
Yep.
Anthony Davis is 17 years his junior.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis.
I don't think anybody could have gotten that ball.
Anthony Davis is 1 year older than me.
Yeah.
Okay? He tied up Tim Duncan, ripped the ball from Tim Duncan, slammed the ball on the floor, and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Let's effing go!" You laugh.
No,
But from that moment on,
the game was ours.
it was a different team.
Yeah.
Where am I going with this?
Yeah.
We come out with that mentality every night.
Yeah.
We can't be beat.
Right. Oh, it absolutely rubbed off on every player.
Every single player.
Every player. And when they showed it on the big on the screen,
The crowd went nuts.
when they showed it on the screen with that one eyebrow going all the way across his forehead, with him mouthing those words, and every New Orleans player looked at him on the floor, they knew.
I'm so happy.
They knew. We got this. We got to win this
The
game.
crowd went nuts.
Absolutely.
That is the loudest ovation I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Ever. And I've been to Saints games.
Yeah.
And I've been to an LSU game.
Yeah.
And in Tiger Stadium. That is the loudest ovation
Yeah.
for a single player I think I've ever heard in my life.
I've never seen that look on his face.
That was crazy. It was crazy.
He was, there's no other word. I'm sorry, audience. He was pissed.
He was.
To take that ball away
He was
from Tim
fired
Duncan
up.
like that, he was fired
He was
up.
motivated. Now,
And
let me add
into halftime.
Let me add that Tim Duncan played a hell of a game.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Duncan, can you stop this man?
Tim Duncan is the epitome of what basketball is.
At 93 years old,
Not 93.
there is still nobody on the soul of the earth that can stop Tim Duncan from hitting that ridiculous hook shot. That's almost a straight line to the basket.
He's not
He puts
93.
absolutely no arc into his shots.
No.
And every single one of them go in.
Oh, you're right.
I've never seen anything
You're right.
like it. I've never seen anything like it.
Always think it's going to hit the backboard and bounce off.
The Spurs...
It was a beautiful game.
The Spurs at this point, because they ended up beating Houston on Sunday night to kind of snap this streak. So if we do the math,
We're number 9 now.
yeah,
I saw in the ranking.
but we're talking about the Spurs. If we do the math now, the Spurs have lost 8 of their last 14. Are the Spurs in trouble? Why or why not?
No.
That was a very confident no.
Wait. Let me qualify
Please
that.
do, because that was a very confident no.
Wait, let me qualify that. As long as Kawhi Leonard and Tony Parker are
Bingo.
out, yes,
Bingo.
they're in trouble.
Well, they're not out anymore. Parker's not anyway. Leonard's going to be out about another week.
If they both come back and they both play their game and they're both healthy again, they're not in trouble.
Bingo. Sorry.
And you know it kills me to base a whole team on 1 or 2 players. But let's be perfectly honest here. You don't have Tony Parker. Who do you have? Really? Who's your point guard? You got to settle for second best. And in this particular set of circumstances, second best is not good enough.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well, if you want to talk about Tony Parker, what won the Spurs the finals this past year?
Exactly.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
Shutting down LeBron James. They're
So
missing
with
that.
both of them out, yeah, they're in trouble.
They come back. The Spurs are not in any kind of trouble.
No.
They're not in any kind of trouble.
And that
Stop.
was my first original thought. Because when you asked me that, I was thinking about the team as a whole. But if you take those 2 elements out of the team, yeah.
Yeah, they're in a little bit of trouble, but I still think they can make the playoffs, and I still think they could make a run even without them. However, with
It
them,
won't be as strong.
they're in no kind of trouble.
No.
Guys, they've played 30 games. We still got 50 games left, guys.
Yeah.
It's a long season,
Yeah.
okay? We're only a third of the way through this,
I agree.
okay?
I agree.
We got a long way to go.
So we
the
agree on
Spurs
that
are
one.
in no kind of trouble.
Right.
But for New Orleans, let's enjoy the victory.
Absolutely.
But we couldn't enjoy it for long, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
I know.
Toronto on Sunday night went to LA, the Staples Center, and handled the Clippers. They really did. Yvonne,
Score.
Sunday night. Well, it must not have been Sunday night. Where is it? Oh, it was Saturday night. Saturday night. 27th. 110-98. Toronto. Your thoughts on the outcome?
I don't know what you want me to say. I think they played in true Toronto fashion.
Yeah, there's not much to say about the
There's
the
not much
question
to
A.
say.
Now, question B.
There's really
Question
not much
B.
to say.
Who did this game prove more about? Toronto or the Clippers, and why? You should have a lot to say about this.
I think it showed what Toronto can do. I think this game was played in true Toronto fashion. What it says about the Clippers goes back to what you were saying a while ago, which I don't like to admit, and I don't want to. I guess they were intimidated by Toronto. Do I think that the Clippers could have done better than what they did?
Well, they definitely could have done better as a team.
They could have done a hell of a lot better. I picked Toronto, you picked the Clippers.
I did.
I won that one.
And why did I pick the Clippers? Well, it's pretty simple, because they just got through destroying Golden State. So I thought,
yeah, it was going to
that-
be true to form.
well,
Right,
they're back.
right.
And I
If
was
they
wrong.
can beat Golden State,
So this game definitely, to me, showed more about the Clippers.
because the Clippers were at home for both games.
this game definitely showed me more about the Clippers because
In a negative way.
it showed their inconsistency.
In a negative
And it
way.
showed their willingness to not show up in big games.
Golly, I hate when you
It's
say
sad.
stuff like that.
I'm done talking about the Clippers. Let's talk about question C. Toronto is the number 1 seed in the East. Your thoughts? As a whole, Toronto being the number 1 seed in the East. Taking into account everything.
I think that's only temporary. The stats and the figures might prove that now. 2 weeks from now, not necessarily. Have they earned it so far? Yes. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Yes. Do I think that ultimately, when the season is over, do I feel 100% confident that they will still be number 1 in the East? No. 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 We got a long way to go, like you just said.
Let's be honest with ourselves here. There is good and bad about this. The good is that Toronto is a hell of a team.
Yeah.
Toronto has been very overlooked.
Yeah.
Toronto has been very underrated. And shit, they're doing this without DeRozan.
Right.
So when DeRozan comes back, they could be even better. But it's harder to hold a number 1 seed
Then
than it is to gain it.
Right. It's hard to stay at the top.
Especially with how good Chicago's playing,
Right.
with how good Washington is playing.
Right.
Let's not forget with how good Atlanta
Atlanta.
is playing. And I hate to do this, but you know what? You still got to deal with Cleveland. Because you never know, by game 50, Cleveland could have turned it around.
Yep.
Yeah, they're 18-13 right now. But they could turn that around. Okay?
We got much too far to go.
But you know what? For today, I'm going to give this team credit.
Yeah.
This team,
Oh yeah, they have earned.
congratulations.
Absolutely.
They
At
earned
this
every bit of it.
particular moment in time, congratulations to them. They have earned it, and they deserve to be in that number 1 spot right now.
I do want to finalize this conversation by saying I do believe Toronto will be one of the top 4 seeds in the East
Oh yeah.
by the time it's over.
Yeah.
I do believe the top 4 seeds in this order, and put this on the record, will be Chicago, Washington, Toronto, and Atlanta. In that order.
Okay.
In that order. Cleveland at the 5th seed. But Cleveland's going to make a run for it.
Yeah.
Watch out. Joakim Noah, quote, Anthony Davis is one hell of a talent. Your thoughts on the quote?
I agree 150%, and I say congratulations for having someone like Joakim Noah acknowledge that fact. And you know what? That shows a very strong, confident man to give such a quote about another team member that's not on your team. That's quite an accomplishment.
I cannot even begin to express 2 things. Number 1, how awesome it is of Joakim Noah to say this.
Absolutely.
And I want to add that Tom Thibodeau, the Chicago head coach,
Yeah.
he was quoted as saying, Anthony Davis, it's scary to think what he's going to become.
Right.
That's a quote.
Yeah, because he's still a newbie.
He's 21.
Right. Right. He's a newbie.
And I can't even begin to express how proud I am of Anthony Davis.
Because he's on our Pelicans team.
Not just that he's on the Pelicans. I'd be proud of him if he played for Charlotte.
Right.
You know why? Because what he's doing right now takes work.
Yeah.
He's earning every single thing. Every single compliment he's receiving, he's earning it. every single MVP and All-Star game vote that he's receiving, he's earning it.
Yeah, and I love the other side of him that we saw the other
Yes,
night. when
I
he got
do.
mad.
He's earning everything
Woo!
he's getting. He's earning everything he's
We
getting.
can see that he gets. I wish a little bit of that would rub off on Kevin Durant.
He's earning everything that's coming to him. It's so great to see. Because
It's a pleasure to watch someone like that grow.
He's transforming.
Right.
He's transforming.
Right.
Now, that led to the game where Jimmy Butler pushes Chicago past New Orleans.
Yep.
Your thoughts on the outcome?
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I wanted New Orleans to win, but oh my gosh, I didn't even pick them. Wait a minute. And I always pick our home team. I did not even pick them because I was, what night was that?
Sunday. I lied. Saturday.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah,
to say,
Saturday.
wait,
Saturday.
you're driving me crazy.
Saturday.
Yeah. I did not even pick New Orleans to win, and I always pick New Orleans because after the last few games that I've seen Chicago play, I mean, number one, we had seen them play the night before. Okay? They were spent against San Antonio. Let's be honest. Then they had to get on a plane, and they had to go from New Orleans to Chicago. And I've seen I saw the last few games that Chicago played, and between what Rose did and what Butler did, I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm amazed that we beat San Antonio by 7, and we only lost to Chicago by 7. That we still had enough strength and stamina and guts to get out there on that floor where we were not in our own home, on our own home court in that kind of weather, traveling all night long and only lose by 7. I'm not happy that we lost. Don't get me wrong.
But the glass is half full.
Right.
My thoughts on this game.
I mean, Butler was.
My thoughts on this game.
Butler was phenomenal.
I'm not.
I don't even remember how many. But for me to write his name off to the side like this,
For you to write his name off to the side like that meant he had 33 points.
I knew it was over 30.
There's nothing to say. Chicago played the better game.
Oh my gosh.
Chicago, up to this point, had 6 straight wins. They won at Indiana last night. They are now on a 7-game win streak. Your thoughts?
They need to stay healthy and strong. They need to stay healthy and strong. They're like a freight train out of control.
My thoughts are watch out because they're getting it together.
Yeah.
They're getting it together.
Yeah.
That is going to conclude part 4. Part 5 is coming up next.